Hello everyone, Maryann from Revealing Light, Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. I did promise you a Halloween reading where we would look at all things from skinwalkers through to portals, through to objects as portals, mirrors and such, through to the darker side. I've had a lot of requests to read on Trump's darker side, and we'll finally do that in this reading if we're up to it. But this is about Halloween, and this is about the time of the year when the veil between this life and the afterlife is at its thinnest. All Hallows Eve. So it is the 31st of October here in Australia, and for my Northern Hemisphere viewers, you're going to be still on October the 30th, I think, the evening or early morning, maybe even into Halloween, depending on where you're located. But if you want to play this video on the actual Halloween, by all means, savor it and keep it. But this is a time when we put politics aside and we just delve into the unknown and the unexplained and see where we come out. So I have the Witch's Tarot, which is this deck to use. The Witch's Tarot. I also have the Jungian Tarot, which is an interesting deck modeled on Carl Jung, the infamous psychiatrist or psychoanalyst archetypes. Interesting deck to use, I must say. And then finally, for I think if I want to or if I feel like it, we'll use Madame Endora's fortune cards. I bought this years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, and I've never really used it. They're a little bit too I don't know what it is about the deck, but if I feel like using it, I will use it. Kind of conjures up gypsies and crystal balls and dark rooms and yeah. Anyway, we'll see how we go with it. I also have my dowsing rods, and I will be clairvoyantly hooking in as well to the various subjects, for better or worse for me. But let's get started. I've put up a few Halloween decorations for you. Some of you have asked what that silver thing is behind me. It's my YouTube plaque or award for reaching 100,000 subscribers, where I got my tick of authenticity. Thank you all for you. So this reading, kick back, get yourself a cup or a glass of wine, whatever you like. This is a time to relax into it. Put on your discovery hat if you want to, if you dare, and most of all, be entertained. So we'll try and keep it for entertainment purposes only, but you never know with me what might come forward. Many of you have seen the orbs in the room. I already know the veil is becoming thinner, so we'll just see what we get throughout the reading. Let's get started. I'm going to get started on what are known as skinwalkers. Now, for those that don't know what a skinwalker is, you're not really even supposed to say the name, but I'm over here in Australia dealing with my Aboriginal mythology. This is Native American, more specifically Navajo culture. And a skinwalker is a type of malevolent witch or shaman that can turn into or disguise themselves as an animal. Why do they do this? For power and revenge, the same way that we do dark stuff as human beings. When we are after revenge or we're being vindictive, some people, very prominent politicians, operate in that dark space. No names there, not yet anyway. So Skinwalker. Now, there's been a lot of fascination with skinwalkers. Let me just show you what they look like. If I can get there we go. Hang on, wait there. Let's stop that share. I knew I was going to have techno problems. Okay, and okay, I don't know if you can see that. I don't even know if I can make it any bigger for you. No. Now I'm just being silly here. Minimize, enter full screen. All right, so this is the Skinwalker legend. Supposedly, as I said, a shaman or a witch in the Navajo culture that can transform into or disguise or possess even animals. There's been a lot of paranormal investigators that have tried to contact skinwalkers, and some of it you can see on any of the ghost hunting channels that you might want to visit. There have been documentaries. Let's get this into full documentaries, particularly I think recently on Netflix. The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, and this is where my viewers have often asked me to read on Skinwalker Ranch. It's located in Utah, and it's reputed to be a site of paranormal activities. The ranch has also been subject to UFO or UAP, aerial unidentified flying objects, unidentified aerial phenomenon. It's also had lots of sightings there documented. But in relation to the Skinwalker, hundreds of mutilated cattle have turned up. The owners of the ranch were actually terrorized, and I think they actually had to leave. And of course, we've had documentaries made on Skinwalker Ranch, and if you want to see that, you can go and I think look at it on Netflix. So we're going to look at skinwalkers to begin with. Are they real? Real or illusory? An illusion, because there's a lot of mythology, and then there's a lot of Hollywood hype around things, and it's tough really to know, do skinwalkers actually really exist, or I'm obviously convinced the afterlife exists, or is this some kind of malevolent spirit coming forward or presenting as a skinwalker, when in actual fact uh, a skinwalker doesn't exist. I've no doubt it existed back in the when the Navajo were at their zenith. I've no doubt there were shamans that could do things, occultist type things. But I don't know, are they still around today? Let's take a look. All right, let's first of all tune in clairvoyantly. Are skinwalkers real? So I'm seeing, yeah, okay. So I am, all right, I am seeing things. So um, I wouldn't want to say that to my psychiatrist. I'm seeing things. What I'm seeing is a lot of feathers, almost like a shaman would have, or a witch doctor, whatever, would have um, had like wings. So there's sort of bird energy here, uh and would have encased themselves in a huge wings of feathers, and then within that imagery, a darkened shape, then the feathers dropped away and we had a darkened shape there. So I think that there were, as I said, kind of occultist type of magic, if you want to put it like that, done by those connected very closely to the land back in the day. Let's pull some cards on it, and you're not supposed to say the name, but I'm not prone to give myself over to fear. I've done a lot of protection before I started this reading. Okay, are skinwalkers real? What can you show me about skinwalkers? Skinwalkers, are they real? It's interesting because I'm seeing someone sitting on top of a not bluff, buff, and they're sort of like sitting on a throne, almost as though they can command the environment around, the horizon around. So are skinwalkers real? What do you want to show me, please? Some of it is Hollywood hype, but I think there's a bit of truth in the myth as well. Certainly back in the day, And then, of course, we accept the afterlife as real. And so these people may still walk the earth in that kind of, using that same kind of process, dark type of process. What do you want to show me, Spirit? Are Skinwalkers real? I'm sure the tarot will be able to answer it, but we'll see. There's someone on their throne. And this is communication, okay? The King of Swords, someone on their throne holding the sword aloft. And so there's a communication thing that's important here. Perhaps communicating with animals as well. The Ten of Pentacles, human legacies, ancestries. All right, let's keep going. We have the Fool here again on the buff on the top of the mountain, looking over the horizon. That's about new beginnings. In the past, we have the Seven of Wands. Now, many have asked, why does, if this is true, why do Skinwalkers do what they do? I feel it could have originated. I mean, the explanation is power and revenge, but I think it's more simple than that. I think that these shamans were warding off, perhaps things coming at them or their tribe, because there's a Seven of Wands, a defensive energy here. We have the Eight of Pentacles, a lot of skill. I would have thought, I haven't done any reading, but I would think that the tribes would have been initiated at a young age. Perhaps there would have been an apprentice, pretty much like we see in Western culture, where we have a sorcerer and his magician. Ten of Wands, that is doing, too much, and it's about the end of a cycle. I'm getting the impression they existed back in the day. They existed to protect and ward off evil. Anyway, let's keep going. The Two of Pentacles, that's choices. And this, now we come into power and manipulation. And so they could have manipulated. They could have started out reasonably benign, but then moved into some sort of manipulation. The Tower card. Wow. Their choices brought the Tower down upon them. At the Page of Cups, emotions, young people. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles, having everything they need. Power. It's about power. And we get the Seven of Cups. Now, this is the illusionary. What is illusionary? It is power. Power is illusionary. And then we get the Hermit, perhaps cast out, having to wander. So I almost think like the first shaman that may have started dabbling in this may have started off using this as defensive. But then, of course, we get the power thing here as well. Is it real? Is it real? Queen of Cups, a secret to be told, and then the Death card. The Death card. Okay, so is it real? I think it has a basis. It's all about control as well. It has a basis in and strength, control and strength, power and strength. It has a basis in reality, I think. And it could be that these people who took a darker road actually did so at the behest of power, strength, control, and possibly even went against the chief in doing so. And that spirit may actually haunt the land, and that's why we have this myth building up. So is it the spirits of age-old shamans that may have use this kind of metamorphosis? Is this what we're seeing? The spirits that may still roam the land? Is that what we're seeing? The spirits of the shaman or witch that may have taken a darker path? Is that what we're seeing at Skinwalker Ranch? So Skinwalker Ranch, do we still have the remnants, the residual energies, the ghosts, if you like, of the shamans that may have taken a darker path? There's a burnt out building, or an old rubble building, and there's a portal above it. So I'm seeing a lot of activity. So I think this might be on Skinwalker Ranch or a part of Skinwalker Ranch. There is definitely a conduit there. Are these spirits roaming the land? All right, so we get the Emperor card, again, the King, and then we get the Moon. Ooh, okay. So at night, you won't see them during the day. The Moon is volatility, can be like a werewolf's theme I'm seeing here. The Wheel of Fortune, and then we get the Fool card. So at some point, someone decided to stay on the land, and then we get Karma. Ooh, Karma and the Moon. Goodness gracious me. So almost somebody has stayed as part of their karma, and again are still defending the land in some way. The end of a cycle. It's like the whole land needs a good cleansing. Choices, and the Tower in the hopes and fears, and the Page of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. Young people. I think people who do go out, there are people who go out to that, do their paranormal investigation. They need to be very careful. Again, seduction through money. So we get the myth meeting the reality, that there are people who actually do go out. They need, as I said, they need to be very careful, because I think there is some kind of energy that still inhabits that land. Okay. All right, let's move on now to portals. Let's move to the portals. So yes, Skinwalker Ranch, definitely there's some kind of portal there, and that, whether that's been opened by investigators, excuse me, or whether it existed there as part of this process of the original shaman witch that was kind of turned or succumbed, that still haunts the land. I think that's very real. There's something there, okay? There's something there. But they need to be careful, I think, mucking about with it. All right, portals. All right, let's get the rods out. I've had many requests to say, where did I get my rods? I got them years and years ago. I couldn't. You just Google them and find them. Make sure they're copper rods with the hollow cylinders, and just be careful. A lot of people go and do things without, even taking protective stuff. Even using something like dowsing rods in your own home can open things up. And if you don't know what you're doing, don't play around. Go and do a Psychic 101 type of course, or a protection. Learn how to protect yourself. This shouldn't be done lightly. All right, now show me yes, please. Can you show me yes? And show me no. Okay. And I don't know, in terms of using these for political answers, I don't know the accuracy of that. I'm still reluctant to use them too often in that regard. But for this session, they're very good at showing where spirit is, and answering questions in relation to energy. And I'd say that the accuracy there, including using them for divining purposes, would be, I've found, incredible. So energy and divining water, yes, I put my faith in the dowsing rods. Okay, so correct. Are you able to source out energy? Is this the power of the rods? Energy, and of course, water has its own energy. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, thank you. All right, now I'm particularly, they're very, it's almost like they read the mind. I want to see where spirit is in the room. Thank you for pointing that out. Always behind me, and sometimes in front of me, and you've seen that too. Uh, are portals real? Are portals real? Can you show me? Are they real? Okay. Are they something that spirit uses to come in to this earthly realm? Okay. I'm dreading asking this next question. Is there a portal in my room here? Sorry, I'm not sure I want to live beside a portal. Is it the wardrobe? Is it my wardrobe with the mirrors, the oak wardrobe? Yeah. See, I already knew that. We purchased years and years ago a very old wardrobe, which it's an oak wardrobe, has mirrored doors, and sometimes I think that does allow spirit to come through from there. Um, Okay, are you operating through the mirrors? Is it the mirrors that you're using? Yeah. Okay, so that's the other thing I want to talk about with portals. Some have said that mirrors in literature, in history, if you look at paranormal investigations, they'll always talk about mirrors being used, and why, I'm not sure. I suspect because um, I'm just seeing lots and lots of layers behind the mirror. It's almost like if you go into the circus and they have those rooms, mirrored rooms, where you can get very disoriented very quickly because they just go back and back and back. Um, it's something around extending back and reflecting out. I'm just not sure. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, and trying to make sense of that. Um, hmm, the question, what is the question? Okay. Hmm. It's something around being precise, giving them, giving the afterlife, giving the passed over loved ones, whoever's using a mirror to come through. It's about giving them a precision entryway. That's the best I can do to explain it in human terms. Um, okay. Uh, all right. So if we're worried that a mirror is haunted, yes. Can we use some protection to make sure that it's guarded in a way that only good benign spirits come through? Can we protect these portals? All right. Now, would the sign of the cross be protective? And it's a symbol. It's the power of the symbol that you put into it. If you're worried about um, a portal, in your house, you've got an antique mirror, you kind of are concerned in any way, just have an intention and say only light beings or only the light can pass through this doorway. And I use a sign of the cross because that's meaningful for me. But whatever you decide to do, are all these things real? Absolutely. We've seen throughout history that many people like Aleister Crowley, and I did a channeling of him, and people couldn't understand why I was doing that. But I did that because I wanted to give a knowledge of what happens when somebody mucks about with the dark. Oh, and I'll get to something I want to talk about in a minute about politicians who use and channel the darkness, not the light. Um, Ultimately, it is their undoing, and the dark is very seductive. It's all about power, but ultimately, it is their undoing. So, let's take a look. Let's take a look at portals. we'll use the Jungian because I want to explore the relationship between people on this earth and those that have passed over. Why is it that we can communicate, given we know that they can access? I mean, not every spirit will use a portal. Why would some use portals and others would just manifest beside your bed? It's I haven't got time, but it's a complexity, isn't it? I have had been in a situation where I have clairvoyantly seen a passed over loved one, only to wake up to see somebody at the end of my bed. So it can range from you giving permission for people to, or passed over loved ones to visit, you sensing or feeling someone around you, and then being able to see them, through to portals may make it easier for them to enter. But let's have a look at why human beings. Okay, so Carl Jung, I'm using your archetype or a tarot system based on the archetypes, your own archetypes. Why is it that human beings can perceive the afterlife? What is this, and why can we perceive? Why can human beings perceive the afterlife? Because they've been there before. They've been there before and they're going there again. I clearly saw that. Thank you. I saw people departing on a train. It's a continuous loop. We come from there and we go back from there to there. We remember. Wow. Okay. So why? Can you show me what I need to know about human beings contacting the afterlife, and what value does that bring to our lives when we are able to do this? Okay, so we get the Four of Swords. That's rest, retreat, illness. Ah, yes. It can prepare us for our return to the afterlife. When we sleep, we go there. When we sleep, we're able to access these higher realms through our feelings as well. And we have here, these have no numbers and just pictures. Now, I did go through them before I read here. Who is that? The Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, change, expansion, Jupiterian energy. Yeah. So this card represents our earthly existence. This card represents our ethereal life, a way to expand on our earthly existence. We have here the Princess of Cups, or the Queen of Pentacles. That's an earthly grounded card. And I've always said that when we connect with the divine, we can bring through that manifestation of abundance when we live spiritually, when we can be in the flow. We all have our lessons to learn, but when we're in the flow, that divine flow, it opens up that Jupiterian energy, that expansive energy. Okay, so in the past we have the Three of Swords, and literally, if you believe in reincarnation and evolution, what we can't, we're here to learn, and we're here to learn from loss and grief and betrayal. We're here to become whole, for our hearts to, when they are shattered or broken or perhaps even lost. You hear that part of me is lost, and it's about reuniting and evolving. We have here the Five of Swords in the sky. I think this is our earthly existence. We know that it's not all there is. The Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles. We come into this life and it can be a very hard life. But in that is the seeds of, it doesn't have to be. In that there is the seed of unlocking our potential, of unlocking our evolution, of freeing ourselves. We have the Chariot, the quickness of the lives that we lead, and we have the Star card, the hope that we learn and evolve and move on at our time of passing. And we have here the Seven of Wands, the Seven of Wands reaching, touching the stars. It's that defensive energy as well. And then we get the absolute clarity, the Ace of Swords, the absolute clarity and truth. What does this connection give us? It gives us the truth of our existence here on this earth. The Seven of Pentacles gives us the opportunity to alter our behavior, to make different choices. I knew a very selfless psychiatrist that I had come into contact with, not through me seeing the psychiatrist, but on this earth anyway. And I jokingly used to refer to him as Sigmund Freud, because he was so clever. But he used to get up he was in his 90s, he was still seeing people in his practice. He was still working 12-hour days. He wasn't, he used to bulk bill, what we do Medicaid, Medicare stuff. He wasn't in it to make money. And he'd get up at 3 a.m. to do yoga, to be disciplined and healthy into his 90s. And I said to him, why do you still do this? Warwick was his name. Why do you still do this? And he said, because all life is about service. At the end of the day, it's about service to others. And we get here the World card, the major ending of a cycle of our lives, of a chapter, something coming to fruition in time. And we get the Queen of Pentacles, the Lovers, the train. It brings us into this life, and we go out on it as well. So we're not strangers. We're not strangers at all to the afterlife. We remember being there, and we know that we're going back there. Okay, and if those that don't know that, well, they soon find out when it's their time to pass over. So, okay, so we've looked at Skinwalker Ranch, we've looked at portals, we've looked at the afterlife, we've looked at mirrors. I do want to touch on the convicted felon, if you like, Trump, the presidential candidate. This is not a political reading, but someone left a comment accusing me of being an occultist. Are you an occultist? Question mark. Well, actually not an accusation, a question. And I thought to myself, I'm not the occultist, Donald Trump is. So what is an occultist? Aleister Crowley, go and have a look at that reading, that channeling that I did of Aleister Crowley, to understand why the seduction is with the dark side. I have to say, I spend most of my time generating the light. Even before my readings, I do protection. I hook into a divine flow and light, and I bring forward the light as a protection for me. I dream about the light, going toward the light. No, I'm not going to pass over, but when I've been extremely sick, I've I've actually seen a passed over school friend asking me to move through the light, and I did. I took the risk and I did. This is in a dream state. And within the next 2 to 3 days, my health started taking a turn for the better. And so I spend my I spend my lifetime trying to search for the light and be in the light. But there are others who spend their time in the dark, searching for the dark, searching for the power, the strength that the darkness may bring forward. And occultists are able to use the power of the darkness in the way they speak to convince people to do certain things. And so why do I say Trump is an occultist? Because that's what he's using. That's what he's channeling. That's what he's hooked into. What I don't know is if he's been formally initiated or or is it because of who he is? But there is a darkness there. And ironically, and perhaps insanely, you have Christian nationals embracing him, calling him Jesus, effigies of false gods, making effigies of him, golden statues. You This is the stuff that that writers use to make a Hollywood script. Stephen King actually, probably when he wrote The Stand, if any of you have read that book, the horror writer Stephen King, is very remarkably similar to what is currently happening with Trump. And at the end of the day, it's about channeling the darker side. So I'm going to pick up the Madame Mandora fortune cards. And as I said, at the end of the day, it's generally a downfall for them. And darkness can be revenge, retribution. In my previous reading, I talked about the young men, that he was trying to make a pitch for young men, and that there was this real aggression toward women. And within, I think, a day or two of that reading, it came out that the Trump campaign was trying to get uh, young men on board, particularly white young males, not educated at college. And he actually said, I will be your retribution for women. I will be your retribution for the women who have done you wrong. He actually said that. And so there is this channeling of this dark energy. All right, let us look at, okay, what do you need to show me about Trump? Will he have his downfall? Well, does he use, let's just do something clairvoyantly here. What is Trump channeling? What is Trump channeling? Does Trump channel the darkness? Is Trump channeling? What sort of energy is Trump channeling when he's in his charismatic, cultish type of behavior? What is he channeling? So he's closing the book on the light. The light is dimming. Why are people so receptive to his messages? Pied Piper. He's like the Pied Piper. Follow me. I'm the Pied Piper. Closing the light. Revenge, retribution. That part of humanity that wants to express that anger. Okay, so, all right, now I see the light coming through now. Okay, Trump channels this is like this because of what's happened to him. I don't want to get into him psychologically, but through the way that he was raised, literally without love, without an expression of real love. All right, where's Trump headed? I think is the question. Where's Trump headed? Where is Trump headed? Where is Trump headed? There's a door. A door is opening, and there's a just oblivion beyond that. Where is Trump headed? I don't think it'll be long before he passes over. Where is Trump headed? Madame Endora. Fire. Reckless actions lead to conflict. Reckless actions lead to conflict. The fire of anger and aggression and conflict. And remember, if you play around with fire, you can often get burned. The hand of fate, forces beyond your control intervene, the light coming toward the dark. And of course, what did the light do in my clairvoyant image? It actually embraced the darkness. And so when he does leave this earthly life, he will be like all of us and welcomed in to the light. And then he'll have to review what he's done. The hand of fate is here. Forces beyond your control intervene in what? In the conflict. Wow. The stars, long journey brings rewards. My goodness me. I'm wondering if we have this kind of oversight, not oversight, that's the wrong word, but if there are other beings watching on, and we have serendipity, bright new prospects, bright new prospects are on the horizon. Okay, that's really nice. What this is saying is there is a hand of fate going to intervene in the conflicts. We have a long journey brings rewards and a bright new prospect on the horizon. That's a reading full of hope. And we've got fate and destiny at play here. Okay. What's at the base of the pack? The dagger. Conflict and danger lie in wait. So it's a warning. It's a warning. I've been delivering this for weeks now. It's a warning. You cannot know, you cannot bring the light in if you do not know where the darkness is. If you do not know what is the darkness, what is lying and awaiting. But at the same time, you have the faith and the steadfastness of bringing that light through. And so no matter how dark things get, understand that the light and the destiny is on the side of new horizons, vanquishing the conflict and moving forward into some new beginning. Understand that. All right. Finally, what do I want to do now? What are the last images that we need to see? What do you want to give me, Spirit? What do you want to give me? What do you want to put here? The Wheel of Fortune is here. All things change. Jupiter energy is important here. And what is it connected to? And I think Mars, the aggression, but Jupiter, the expansion. We always think expansion of aggression, but this can be expansion of divine light, divinity. And the Wheel of Fortune is that luck and a period of beneficial, I guess, events. Okay, so the big energies are squaring off literally. Okay, and which is more likely to succeed? Well, even in the aggression, even in the conflicts, we have the learning taking place, and then that helps to form and craft the new horizon, unlike the old horizon, unlike the old. All right, what else do you want to show me here before we close down this section? I want to try and just bring through JFK Senior, John Fitzgerald Kennedy Sr. I channeled him once before. He spoke at length about the Rose Garden. That was around the time that Trump's wife, Melania, pulled up the Kennedy Rose Garden in the White House. He talked about the specific specific flowers he used. I described them in detail. If you want to go back and see that reading, I'm pretty sure I've got JFK in the headlines. Okay, so John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy. Okay, I see that he's approaching. He's in a beautiful dark suit and tie. Not a dinner suit. I thought it was a dinner suit, but he's here. He's doing this with his cuffs. He's here to do business today. He's here to he's here to talk. Now I'm seeing a microphone. Okay. President Kennedy, what would you say to us? He's reminding us of the eagle in flight. He's reminding us of the fight for freedom. True freedom does not exist in the lower realms. It exists in the higher self. In the higher self. I hear the ravens near our house are cawing, often a symbol of connecting with the afterlife. True freedom exists in our higher selves, not our lower selves. True freedom. If you want freedom, then it is through expression of your highest self, in your words, your deeds, everything. That is freedom, earthly freedom. Okay. All right. The symbol of America is the eagle, the land of the free. Okay. And so those that are channeling the darker, lower realms will never, never lead you to freedom. I want to say that very clearly. They will never, ever, ever lead you to freedom. Only destruction, downward spiral and destruction. And that is the choice on the ballot. All right, that's it for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that. Just a little bit of difference there, and opening ourselves up to explore other realms, other questions, other possibilities. I want to also say I'll be back on Monday before the election, Sunday, I think it is for you, with my final prediction. And people say, well, why are you giving that? We'll tap into the energies as they stand right now. I want to talk through some things. I want to look a little bit at the astrology, and I want to give my final prediction on who will be president in 2025. And I'm going to give you a spoiler alert. Up until now, it's always been Kamala Harris, with a grey bit, a volatile bit in between November through to when she's inaugurated. There's a lot there that we need to be prepared for. But ultimately, I want to say, up until now, I see her as the president in 2025. Anyway, we'll take a look at the astrology, and we'll double right down on it, and I'll do my final clairvoyant tarot reading on Harris and Trump before the election. So stay tuned for that. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in.